What's up, my friend? My name is André. Today I'll be reacting to Big Ten college football stadiums. But before I go into that, can I ask you for one thing? If you can leave a like on this video, thank you so much for that. This is really the best way to show support. If you can subscribe, oh man, in that case, forget about it. You make my day. Have that in consideration. Now, link for the original video in my description. You guys end up recommending this one quite a lot, so let's play it.
Up until now, I had been going through the FBS conferences in a completely random order. But due to overwhelming demand, I've had to make the executive decision that allows the Big Ten to jump the queue. Actually, I don't think you say queue in America, so to cut the line, I guess. Combined, the Big Ten stadiums have a capacity of around 1 million. But that doesn't mean that
1 million? That's insane. What?
the average capacity is 100,000. No. Because there are, of course, 14 teams, as you'd expect with a name like Big Ten. Anyway, here are the Big Ten college football stadiums. Beaver Stadium, home of the Penn State Nittany Lions.
160k. 106k. Oh, this is insane. This is a big one. I like this one. Look at all the space to park the car, nice roads. I like this one. Penn State, I feel like is a really strong team, right? I at least I see it in a couple of videos.
The stadium is named after James, a beaver who built the stadium. Most beavers build dams, but in this area of Pennsylvania, they're a little more sophisticated. That might not actually be true. The thing
Oh wow, this is a really cool stadium. I love the... Oh, this is a really good one.
What I love most about this stadium is that the expansions that have occurred over the years are very conspicuous. You can basically see how every section has been expanded, and you've got a bit of everything sprinkled in.
Oh, and you have the mountains on the background. This is a tremendous state. 100%.
I particularly like the design of each end zone.
I love it.
In the north, you have this big curved upper deck that hovers above the lower bowl, which is a fairly uncommon design. And the south end zone seating is similar to that of LSU's Tiger Stadium. Looks great. The stadium...
By the way, my friends, if the team you support appears on the video, feel free to leave me a comment, because I always take a look at all the comments and I love to know why do you support this team. That type of stuff is fun to me. And one thing that I've been saying for a long time is, if I go to America, better saying, when I go to America, I would love to watch college football game, because I feel like that's the best experience I can have when it comes to sports in America. Some people tell me, no, go to watch NFL, go to watch a baseball game. But at this point, I don't know, I'm very convinced that I have to watch college football.
The stadium is set for a major renovation that will bring it into the 21st century. Because although it looks good on the outside, there are some aspects where it's lacking on the inside.
Okay.
Camp Randall Stadium, home of the Wisconsin Badgers.
Okay.
It's the oldest stadium in the Big Ten. In fact, it's named after the Union Army training camp that occupied the...
Wait, this one looks kinda cool again. This seems like a church right there. Okay.
Died during the Civil War.
Wisconsin. Okay. Wisconsin. Potato.
I'm not usually a big fan of wars, but at least they kept it civil.
I'm sorry, let me just see the capacity. I miss it. This seems also very big.
On the inside. Camp Randall Stadium.
8k. A bit less, but still a lot of people.
Stadium, home of the Wisconsin Badgers. It's the oldest stadium in the Big Ten. In fact, it's named after the Union Army training camp that occupied the site during the Civil War. I'm not usually a big fan of wars, but at least they kept it civil. This one is another stadium that has a lot going on. Well, most of the capacity comes from the main seating bowl once again, which is fairly
okay, but on the front looks really cool.
Plain and simple. But then you have this sizable upper deck on the western side that curves its way around.
Yeah.
Matched with the skybox equivalent on the east. The exterior is also completely different on each side of the stadium. And it's not something I usually...
Oh, I like this one. Again, I think I will like all the 10s, but all the ones that make the top 10 list. But I really like this one.
But they have a very fancy looking field house as well.
Okay, this is quite smaller. Still a lot of people, 51k. But seems like half of the stadium is missing, or at least the end of the stadium is missing. Why is... Okay, let's see it. I mean, but looks cool actually.
Maryland Stadium, home of the Maryland Terrapins. If, like me, you were wondering what a terrapin is, it's a turtle. They chose that name, of course, because turtles are known for their speed, strength, and agility. Nah, but turtles are cool. This one is a lot simpler than the last two. It's a fairly typical horseshoe design, with the addition of very tall triple-decker seating on one
Honestly, I was thinking about that. Looks like a horseshoe. That's crazy.
Sides. And on the other side, they've got this combination of outdoor seating and luxury suites. It looks...
But can they control people entering? That I feel like when... I don't know, maybe they can.
Pretty cool, actually. I often note how some stadiums have an exterior that's reminiscent of a parking garage. But this one literally has a parking garage as the exterior behind the west end zone.
What?
Which is very convenient.
I believe it.
Kinnick Stadium.
69k. Okay. Ohio.
Home of the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Ohio. Potato again.
It's named after Niall Kinnick. I believe it's the only college stadium named after a Heisman Trophy winner, which is very surprising. And yet...
I like this one also a lot. But, no, this is also really cool.
They've got one that's named after a beaver called James. This sort of design is somewhat uncommon in college football, given that it's made up of 4 individual stands that aren't connected.
Yeah, that's a great point. Those are not connected. Okay, interesting. I still like it.
Those stands do have quite a traditional look to them, with a red brick facade for the most part. But what the stadium is most well known for can't be seen from the outside. The visitors' locker room is completely pink, which is done to put the away team in a passive mood.
No chance. Wait, what? Is this real? That's unbelievable. But I love it.
I mean, how far...
This is crazy.
Fired up can you get when you're surrounded by pink?
Not
it
that
also
far.
has been known to increase their concern for having their nails broken. It even extends to the bathroom, which might not be in the spirit of sportsmanship, but it is kind of funny. I wonder what would be crossing the line. Could you constantly have K-pop music playing in the rooms? That's like the...
Okay, the guy is actually roasting K-pop now. To be honest, tremendous idea.
The audio equivalent of the color pink. Well, to be honest, I don't even...
By the way, why is K-pop now appearing? Great video so far. I'm really enjoying this one. I saw a lot of people recommending this one, but now I can see it why. It's a tremendous video. Leave a like if you are also enjoying this video.
I don't know what it sounds like, but just look at them.
Okay.
Memorial Stadium, home of the Illinois...
Memorial Stadium, this has 60k, okay.
Illinois Fighting Illini. This one's a little different.
Seems clean.
It has a very elegant neoclassical design, particularly the exterior.
Oh, wow.
It looks like something
that looks European, to be honest.
You'd see in the Ivy League. In fact, it kind of looks like a combination of Harvard Stadium and Franklin...
Dude, what is this? Oh my god, this look... Oh, this should be in Roma, not in America. This is a tremendous one.
Field. Something that's quite...
Is this the same one? No, this is another... This is also tremendous. Oh man, you guys have some of the best stadiums in the world.
Fascinating about this stadium is that during construction, way back in the 20s, heavy rain caused one of the bulldozers to sink into the field. They decided that it wasn't feasible to remove it, so it remains there to this day.
No chance. Wait, what? I mean, it is what it is, my friend.
Yes, it's tragic, But at least the bulldozer driver was able to memorize the owner's manual in English, French and Spanish before he died from asphyxiation. He's a quick learner, although he did have a bit of trouble with the Japanese section. I am of course joking, nobody was buried alive with the bulldozer, but
What? Come on, I thought the story was actually great. In a weird way, okay?
I do really like this stadium.
I like it.
Memorial Stadium, home of the...
Wait, but this is the same... Wait, what's the difference between this and the other? Sorry, I had to go back, but... I mean, I have to understand this, my friends. Memorial Stadium... So it's the same name. Am I crazy about this, my friends? Okay. So the same name. Why? 52k.
Home of the Indiana Hoosiers. First impressions are that this stadium isn't anything out of the ordinary. And then you look behind each of the end zones. To the south, there's a miniature version of the field. And to the north, you notice a spectacular cathedral or castle-like building. Stunning.
Okay, that's crazy. Oh man, this is a crazy stadium. I love the mini field and look at that. I would feel so powerful if I enter those doors. The opposite team should enter the other side. It is what it is.
Although, as with many college stadiums, the southern end zone was recently expanded. So now it looks like this. Sadly, the little baby field was crushed.
No
yes, it's tragic,
chance.
but it was able to memorize what concrete smells like before it died from asphyxiation. The interesting thing about this stadium is that those huge stands to the east and particularly to the west, they've been here since the stadium was built. Except there was...
Okay, this stadium is different because this looks really cool.
literally nothing else. It was just...
Okay, this would be the best stadium. Wait, this is fantastic. Imagine if you do a touchdown and you are, I'm out, and you go keep running. For sure, someone did that.
just grass behind each end zone.
Oh, come on, this is amazing.
I kinda like that.
I like that.
Memorial Stadium, home of the Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Okay, so Memorial Stadium is the name that you guys use a lot, I guess. Okay.
For being just humble Cornhusker...
I mean, I guess it's probably this is in memories of the people that died in war, right? But okay.
folk,
I
they've done
respect
quite
it.
well for themselves. They've built themselves a magnificent stadium with grand facades on each side.
Let's try this one a bit back, my friends, because this seems a big boy. Sorry.
Memorial Stadium,
85k. Actually, I thought it was more. This looks giant.
home of the Nebraska Cornhuskers. For being just humble Cornhusker folk, they've done quite well for themselves. They've built
Big
themselves a
one.
magnificent stadium with grand facades on each side.
Ooh.
Very impressive. On the inside, it looks just as good. And the eastern
This seems amazing. This one seems really amazing.
stand technically has 5 tiers of seating, which you certainly don't see every day. And behind
Wow.
each end zone you have these huge stands, which look pretty cool.
Oh, I love this
suppose
one.
I should mention that on game day, the stadium itself becomes the 3rd biggest city in the great state of Nebraska. Although
What?
it's not a city, it's a stadium within a city. Nebraska doesn't have many sizable cities, I think, is the main point. Because as the legendary Nebraskan poet Douglas McNugget once said, you can't
Okay, this guy is saying a lot of jokes that I'm missing. No chance Douglas McNugget is a famous person. No chance.
grow corn in a concrete jungle. So true.
That's kind of true.
Michigan Stadium, home of
Michigan Stadium, 107. Okay, this is a big boy and a beautiful. I love Michigan Stadium. Not the first time I see this one. Look at that. When this is full, I bet this is crazy to be there.
of the Michigan Wolverines. Let me start out by mentioning that it's the third biggest stadium in the world and the biggest outside of Asia. So that's fairly impressive in itself.
That's crazy.
But the stadium's sunken design means that, from the outside, you'd hardly notice that the stadium was anywhere near that size. The design, although it looks pretty good, is very, very simple.
It's simple, but looks really good.
Just a single-tiered bowl, with skyboxes on either side of the field.
I like this one.
In fact, the most unusual thing about it is that it's almost perfectly symmetrical, an anomaly in college football. The stadium holds numerous attendance records, as you might expect, including the largest college football crowd that wasn't held in a NASCAR track, which was a little over 115,000. Ohio Stadium.
Ohio Stadium. This again, also, this looks like a horseshoe again. Yeah, you guys seeing what I'm seeing? But let's see it.
Home of the Ohio State
102K. Okay.
You see, I know that a sunken field design is more cost effective, and I guess it would be safer if an earthquake were to occur. But you've just got to love an imposing exterior like that. Just look at it.
Oh, this is a beautiful one. I like this from... Oh, this is nice.
It's a fortress. I'm surprised there isn't a drawbridge. That would be pretty cool. Actually, this little section was inspired by the Pantheon in Rome.
Okay.
But the entire stadium itself was clearly inspired by something less opulent. That being the shoe of a horse.
Oh, come on. That's amazing, my friend. Look at that. Oh, I love this. I'm sorry, I love this.
In fact, before...
If you have similar videos to this one that want me to react, leave me a comment. I mean, I'm having the best time of my life.
The southern end was filled in, it was the king of all horseshoes.
Okay.
Now, it technically isn't a horseshoe stadium, even if it is its nickname. But one thing that isn't in doubt is that it's a very
Actually, I really like those two, Michigan and Ohio. I thought those two last stadiums are incredible.
Impressive stadium.
Different ways, but incredible.
I really do like it. Ross-Ade Stadium, home of the
57K, Lafayette, Indiana.
Purdue Boilermakers.
Actually, I thought Lafayette was in Louisiana for some reason. Okay.
That is a very specific nickname, but I like it. You've got to be tough to make a boiler. Well, perhaps not these days. The stadium, as you can see, is that rudimentary single-tier horseshoe style.
Frankly, this seems a bit basic compared, for example, with the last one, the Hawaii. But probably still an amazing environment
that you see here and there. It's probably the simplest stadium in this conference, but for some people, that's ideal.
Okay, so I have to say this, college football, probably this basic style could make a lot of sense, don't get me wrong, so maybe this is actually an amazing place to go.
The south end zone is a little unusual. This section used to have bleachers, but I guess it's just this guy's private parking space now.
Okay. Random, but okay.
Ryan Field, home of the Northwestern Wildcats. Now, this one's got a bit more going on.
I like this one.
It's another one with a fortress-like grand entrance, with two big white towers that can be seen from inside the stadium. It's the smallest Big Ten stadium in terms of seating capacity, and some of that seating is a little strange.
I love it.
The main stand's upper deck curves both from the bird's eye view and the side-on view, which is quite uncommon. And what's with this section? It seems like they should have just continued with the curve.
Yeah.
Dunno, but I'm sure there's a reason. It's definitely a unique stadium, you've got to give it that.
No, I like it.
SHI Stadium,
52K.
home of the Rutgers Scarlet Knights. There's no obvious medieval-inspired architecture with this one, it's all fairly normal on the outside.
But seems simple but beautiful.
It does have a cannon, however, so that's good. It's fired when the Scarlet Knights score, but I presume it also comes in handy when a drunken spectator runs onto the field. That actually sounds like fun.
No, this guy is making a joke. No chance they do that, right?
Something else that's a little unique is the red tin roof section that wraps its way around the north end zone
cool.
seating. as well as this little section of the south end zone that's actually the recruiting lounge. Other than that, it's a fairly straightforward design, but a good one. Spartan Stadium, home of the Michigan State Spartans.
I love the name.
This stadium has a very clean design. It would even be perfectly symmetrical, just like the other stadium in Michigan, if it wasn't for this built-up side over on the west.
Oh yeah.
It was added in 2005. I like it. It's modern, yet
I like
traditional. And it's the only side of the stadium with a particularly good-looking exterior. The rest is a bit meh. It may come as a bit of a shock, but due to this section, the stadium is actually the tallest building in the city.
What?
Provided you exclude those smokestacks over there. And to be fair, the city has a smaller population than the stadium's capacity, so it's not much of a brag. And finally, TCF Bank Stadium,
50K.
home of the Minnesota Gophers. It's the newest stadium in the conference, although you might not be able to tell just by looking at it. They have tried to stick with a traditional
Seems kinda
college
big,
football
yeah.
aesthetic.
But it's not.
Kind of. I mean, there weren't really any designs quite like this in the 1920s, but the exterior is still fairly classical looking with the extensive use of brick and whatnot. You also get a decent view of the Minneapolis skyline from some vantage points, which is always good. The stadium is designed to be able to seamlessly expand in the future if need be.
Seems really beautiful, honestly.
And you can just tell by looking at it
Another
where
one.
the additional seating might be added. It's a great stadium to end with. And that's all for today's video. If you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Have a good one.
So my friends, really enjoyed this video. I hope you also end up enjoying this one. If that's the case, leaving a like is always the best way to tell me. But yeah, see you guys next time. Bye my friends.